Welcome to the Geek, the History Geek. I'm Mr. Hodges. So what do you get when you mix parades and cookouts and picnics with pool openings and the Indy 500 and, a movement to remember soldiers that have died in service to their country? You get a major U.S. holiday. Stay with me today as we learn about the history of Memorial Day. Have you ever wondered about Memorial Day? It is one of the major U.S. holidays. But what is it about? What is the origin of the holiday? Why do we celebrate it? Memorial Day is a very popular American holiday that is celebrated towards the end of the month of May. Despite being the most solemn and somber of the U.S. holidays, this three-day weekend marks the beginning of the summer season. It also marks the beginning of the peak tourist season and the opening of many outdoor activities such as swimming pools and youth camps. But what most Americans do not know is that this holiday was not always called Memorial Day. It was called Decoration Day. But not the type of decorating, nor for the reasons that you might likely be thinking about. The origin of this holiday really lies with the deaths of soldiers during the American Civil War. Over 620,000 soldiers died while serving during the war. The number of deaths is so high that the U.S. Civil War still constitutes the highest number of deaths in any single U.S. war. The impact of the deaths due to the war was felt in almost every town and community across the North and the South. The birthplace of Memorial Day was the town of Waterloo, New York. On May 5th, 1866, just over a year after the Civil War ended, the town created a holiday for the citizens to recognize the soldiers the town lost during the war. In an attempt to remember and honor their fallen soldiers, citizens of the town decorated the graves of the fallen with flowers and flags. On May 5th, 1868, Union veteran and leader of an organization for Northern Civil War veterans, John A. Logan, called for a nationwide day of remembrance. He selected May 30th, 1868 as the day for all towns and groups to honor the fallen soldiers of the U.S. Civil War. He called the holiday Decoration Day. Through the rest of the 1800s, the holiday continued to grow, and by 1900, it would be known as Memorial Day. Now, following World War I, Memorial Day was celebrated to recognize all U.S. soldiers that had died in all American wars. And in 1971, Memorial Day was made a federal holiday, and it was moved to the fourth Monday in May. It is important to remember the purpose of this holiday. It is not for honoring those that have served, but rather to honor those that have died in service to their country. Well, as you attend your parade, your cookout, your picnic, you swim in your pool, or go camping, or get an extra day off, or maybe take a trip, or, whatever you do this Memorial Day, I challenge you to consider this. The holiday is not about these fun things that we get to do. It is not about that day off. We are very fortunate to be able to sleep under the blanket of freedom and security provided for by our military. We need to remember that freedom isn't free. We owe it to these men and women to recognize the sacrifice that they made to protect us and to keep us free. We owe it to the families that lost sons and daughters, and to the children that have lost parents. This is a debt that we as citizens can never repay, and that we should never forget. Well, that's it for this edition of Did You Know? I am Mr. Hodges, and this is the History Geek.